Hello, and welcome to the Connecting Point. I am Dr. Marcy, your facilitator for this discussion platform today. And I am most elated to have here with me today my brother in more ways than one. He is an MBC Morris Brown College graduate. And y'all know how I feel about dear old Morris Brown. So that's brother position number one. Position number two, he's my Phi Mu Alpha brother. So he's also in music, but we might get a little bit into that discussion later on as well. But I am so happy to have you here, Richard. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you, Marcy?
I am wonderful. And by the way, this is Mr. Randolph, Richard Randolph. I didn't say your full name, I'm sorry. Richard Randolph. And I've already told you the connecting point. Okay, so we're gonna get right into this, Richard. Can you tell? I don't want to tell much. I didn't want to tell more about you. I wanted you to do that. So, can you tell the audience who you are in terms of your occupation? Your, I know you're a dad. Tell us the real. Yeah. Tell us about the real Richard. Okay, and where you are now.
Okay. The real Richard. But since we're gonna have a real conversation, I give you the real Richard. The real Richard is a product of Atlanta. I'm a Grady baby, born and raised. I grew up in the Carver Homes housing projects. I went to Campbell Elementary School, Price School, and Carver High School. I am the product of a teenage mother. My mom had me when she was 13. My mom was my biggest motivator because she dropped out of high school and went back to high school at the age of 23 and got her high school diploma. So that motivated me that I have to go to school. My mom, we moved from the Carver Homes community to the Pittsburgh community, McDaniel Street area. After leaving Carver High School, I went to Morris Brown College.
Yeah.
I went to Morris Brown on a scholarship, and I played in the band. One the greatest times of my life. The greatest times of my life. I must be transparent. Is that I didn't quite get it right the first time. I got to my senior year and I didn't finish Morris Brown. I did use those credits to obtain my bachelor's degree. When I left Morris Brown College, I started with the Fulton County Police Department. When I first got on with the Fulton County Police Department, I started out as a patrol officer in the Fulton Industrial Corridor, Martin Luther King area of Atlanta.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah.
I know what you saw over there.
You couldn't imagine. I worked there from 11. I was on 11 to 7 shift for years, and then I made detective. I made detective like 06, and then I went from being a burglary detective to a death investigator, a homicide detective.
Wow.
Yes, I handled a lot of the major homicide cases in Fulton County Police unincorporated jurisdiction back then. In 2012, I transferred to the Fulton County DA's office, where I was the director of the gang unit for investigations.
Ooh, Rich.
I handled all the complex gang cases, including homicides and robberies, in Fulton County between 2012 and 2016. In 2016, I came to the Cobb County DA's office, where I joined their newly put together major case division, which is a combination of the homicide and gang unit. I got the tap on the shoulder in 2000, during the pandemic in 2020, to become the deputy chief investigator at the Cobb County DA's office. And about a week and a half after being at the Cobb County DA's office, we were assigned the Ahmaud Arbery case down in Brunswick. I was part of the team that indicted that case. At the end of that year, November last year, I was given the opportunity to come to the DeKalb County Solicitor General's office and lead the investigation division here. I am currently the chief investigator at the DeKalb County Solicitor General's office. That means that we handle all the misdemeanors that occur in DeKalb County. That includes vehicular homicide, involuntary manslaughter, and domestic violence. Um, at this level, we spend a lot of time in educating the community because this is the group. The solicitor's office is usually the first opportunity that the citizens will encounter with our judicial system. And traffic court is also handled in this division. I am a father of four. I recently lost my son, which is my youngest, but I am the father of four. I have, and I am, I spend my personal time interacting with young people.
Mhm.
Um, I am a member of the 100 Black Men of Douglasville. 100 Black Men of Douglasville, we interact with these young men that are in the Douglasville community, high school, middle school, elementary school. We have programs like the Junior 100 Club that we started, and we're working on the Emerging 100 Club, which is more the high school young men. All young men may not decide to go to a 4-year college right away.
Right.
You got to get something else beyond high school, and we believe that a young man will be what he see.
Mm.
Be a
And a
man.
young lady, I'm going to piggyback off of that.
Yes.
Children, they don't do what you say. They do what they see you do. And so
Right.
that goes, female or male. Yeah.
So typically that's what we do. We spend our time with that. We spend our time with Youth Against Violence, which is a program in Douglasville where the juvenile offenders they get a second chance. So second chance by going through this program, and it gives them an opportunity to help get their background clear and put them on the right tracks. And of course, I'm over community involvement. I'm a member of Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity.
Oh yeah, I forgot to that. Yes, you are.
And we also spend a lot of time with young people and the community. So that's what I enjoy doing in my spare time, and I see it as an opportunity to do for me, to do for others what someone did for me.
Richard, I'm just sitting here listening to all of those great things that you are serving in, and I say serving because that's what it is. You are serving the community in your highest capacity, and I commend you for that. And I'm so very proud because you're Brown Knight, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Some of the best product come from Morris Brown now.
Morris Brown changed my life.
Mine too. Yes, mine too.
It changed my life.
I can attest to that as well. And I will tell any young person that's in search of an institution of learning to attend, if it's not Morris Brown, at least go to HBCU. And I'm not being biased.
Yes.
It's just, it's that community that,
Yes, you get things beyond books.
It's beyond books. Yeah, and that's why Richard and I are here talking today, because connections are never broken. From Morris Brown, we all are going to be connected until we leave this earth.
Oh, definitely that. Definitely that.
But Richard, tell me this. What inspired you to go into law enforcement, from Morris Brown? Because, you were a music person,
Yeah,
what inspired that?
I actually majored in biology, but I thoroughly in music. Music was healing. Music is a universal language.
Mm-hmm.
Crosses all social economic backgrounds. So music kept me grounded. I ended up in law enforcement. I was a young dad, and I was looking at different career opportunities, and it's like it kind of fell in my lap. I said, well, let me try it, and I joined the police. I went to the police academy, and it was hard. It was hard. We talking about the late '90s. It was hard. And it was, but I wanted to make a difference, and I thought, and I know I can't save everybody, but if I could save that one somebody,
yes,
And so I now not only do I started my career in law enforcement, but I actually teach in the academy from time to time now. So I'm actually an instructor.
Oh, wow. Well,
Yes.
that's one of the reasons I wanted you to come on here, because you know what we're dealing with now in our community. And I say our community, I'm talking about at large, but I'm also specifically talking about the African American community. I'm just going to be real. This is real talk.
Yes.
We are dealing with all sorts of things, from gang violence to domestic violence,
Yes.
you know, all kinds of things that our young boys and men are dealing with in society. Can you tell me, what trends have you seen since the 90s up until now that have been like, you know, just mind blowing to you?
I think being a product of Atlanta, I saw the emergence and the sustainability of gangs in our culture. We and I go back to say sustainability because we thought it was going to be like a maybe an overnight or just maybe a temporary thing or just like a fad. But you know, gangs have been moving in our culture in our community alive and well.
Mhm.
Uh, what we failed, and I'll put myself in that group as an adult dealing with young people. We allowed the word gang to take the place of the word community.
Mm.
See, when I grew up, the neighbors could correct you. When
That's
I grew
right.
up, we had community centers.
Mhm.
I grew up, even if I wanted to do wrong, there was always an adult not related to me that would say, "Hey, young man," and you listened because they would tell your mama,
Right.
your father. So we went through that's what I had in my community. When I interact with gang members, I first of all I listen to them because they're somebody's child,
Mhm.
and I interview them and I talk with them. And you know what I hear most of the time? They use the word "I love you" 1,000 times. They tell each other they love each other. They pick
Oh,
on each other. Um, even in the midst of them getting ready to do criminal activity. So we allow the streets to love on our kids, and a little bit
my,
more than we are. And let me tell you, we lost sight of that. It takes a village.
yeah.
That the neighbors have to know each other, and that parents are working hard trying to provide, trying to do great things for their kids. But it takes this is a village, a team. It takes the police officer, it takes the postman, it takes the clerk at the grocery store.
Everybody.
It takes everybody to make this work.
You know, it's so interesting that you said that they tell each other, "I love you." And you
Yes.
know, so often I do that a lot because I love people, and I cannot help it. It's just a part of my makeup. I love people. So you might hear me say I love you. And some people say, "Why do you say you don't even know the person like that?" Well, it's because I love them because they are God's creation. And
Yes.
so I have nothing to do with their lifestyle. I can't judge them. I have to love them from where they are. And so, and when you said that they're saying to each other, "I love you," that struck something with me, because that is something that I tell my students. They would tell you, Dr. Simmons, she's going to say, "I love you." They're going to get that from me as their teacher. But so often what I see is they're not getting it from home. Let's start in that home unit, that base, that foundation.
Yes.
When we fail as parents and family members to even say, "I love you," or affirm our children. That's what I want to say. Affirm them. Tell them, "You're this," so the world doesn't have to label them. You as
Yes.
parents, God affirms first, then we as parents have to say, "You are this, you are that," and not curse. I see people cursing their children and it irks me to no end. And so what do you think they're going to do when they get out there? They're going to search for what you didn't give them at home. That's number one. But then, just like you said, in the community, there are people that can be the source of a parent that they don't have at home. But where we're feeling, like you said, is not giving them that and looking at them as if, you know, they got the pants hanging down, they tats all over their bodies, earrings. We cannot judge.
You're right.
Because I could really think about some stuff I was doing. If we want to be real, now that's another thing. Be real with these children. Be transparent. You're not, okay, we've all done messed up things.
Yes, we have.
Okay, I will tell you now, I have. And if I come across young people that need to know that, I'm going to tell them what it was, because how else are they going to grow unless we're real with them, transparent with them, so that they don't make the same mistakes that we made.
I agree.
But I just thought that was really interesting that you said that. Okay, so y'all know what we got to do as a community? Tell these young folks you love them. Not just tell them, though. It's like a relationship. Don't just tell me you love me. Show me.
Yes.
Show me you love me. Check up on me.
And it's okay to meet them where they are.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Okay to meet them where they are, but you got to leave them better than how you found them. So I don't know, I don't know how you go, how you choose to do that. That's up to you. But it's okay to give a good word to a young man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I had a young man come up to me at the mall the other day in the parking lot, and he looked like he was young enough to work. And he said, "Good brother, do you have any change to spare?" He said, "I just got out. I'm just trying to get something to eat." And I said, I thought about it. I reached in my pocket, and I think I had maybe $7 to $10 in my pocket, and I gave it to him. And I said, "Look, when you get on your feet, you got to do this for somebody else."
Mm.
So about me paying me back, you got to do it for somebody else. I don't know what he gonna do with that money, but you got to plant those seeds.
You have to,
and you got to plant those seeds as often as you can. And it ain't all about looking down on somebody. Sometimes folks just need an uplift.
Yeah.
And we all don't get paid for 2 months. Don't get paid for 2 months and see how your life changed.
That's right. That's right. And that is something a pet peeve of mine is if I see a person that mistreats another human being, that bothers me. But when you mistreat a child, Dr. Simmons will come out of her character. Listen, I don't play that. Don't, because I know that children, by working with them, I know they go through things that some of us as adults have never encountered. Yes. I remember being in my classroom one day, and children know that I have like this open door policy. You can tell me anything. And this particular day, I was talking about crime and in the community and how to stay away from the wrong type of people. And I will never forget this child raising her hand, and she said, "What if?" And I knew, you know when they start this "what if," who they really talking about. She said, "What if the person that commits crime or that steals, it lives with you?" Mm. And I had to get silent because I had just gotten out of my mouth how to not hang around certain type of people. Now, how you gonna separate yourself from your family? You understand what I'm saying? So this guy was saying to me, how I'm gonna get away from somebody in my house that's doing it? And all I could tell that child was, pray for them, pray for yourself, and still not engage in whatever is going on. You don't have to engage in it, but these are some real issues that our children are dealing with. They can't escape being at the house. Right. Okay. Some of them don't get good night rest because it's cussing and ganging and banging all night long. So how do we address that? We're so quick to say that child ain't worth this, or that child doing it. Look at how she's dressing. Look at how, you know, they're cursing or whatever. But do you know where they came from?
Well, you got to be a safe place for them.
Yeah.
And that sounds like what you're doing. You got to be a safe place where it's okay to be me in front of you. We got to remember that, you know, we just didn't get here. We got, you know, we went through a lot of twists and turns and different ways to navigate to where we are. So we have to be a safe place for young people, like a no judgment zone.
No, not just for young people, for all people too. I'm just stop judging folk. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
The most freeing thing you can ever do is not care about what other folk doing. You just have to love them. Whatever they're doing that you don't agree with, that's between them and God. You don't have anything to do with that.
And respect everybody.
And respect. There you go. Respect everybody.
Yes. I tell young men in the academy, what young men and ladies in the academy that are young officers, and they ask you like, what's the guidance of how you treat people? And my answer to that has always been, when you're arresting somebody in the community. So you never know that family member or person, you know, that you're arresting in the community. And the way I look at it is that we're all family, regardless of race, color, creed, and all those other things to discriminate against. If that person can call their mama and their mama call your mama, and you can explain to your auntie what you did, then you did it all right.
Mm-hmm.
That means we want family. Now, if you can't do that, or if you can't even imagine that other person being a part of your family, one, you're in the wrong profession, two, you're doing something wrong.
Doing something wrong. And that, you know, I am so glad that you have been entrusted with the gift that you have to service in the area that you're serving in, because oftentimes society has been looking at police enforcement in a negative light. You know that, right?
Yes.
So, you know, let's talk about that a little bit. How are we going to get that relationship? How are we going to heal the relationship between the law enforcement and the community?
Well, one thing, what we fail to remember, what we don't point out a lot to is, well, let's start with transparency. We word transparency around a lot, but what the transparency mean more than just looking at the books or reading the document out loud. Transparency is educating the community on the do's and don'ts. Educating them on the law, educating them on the processes and the procedure. So if you do get a loved one that goes to jail, what are their rights? You know, educate them on the judicial system. Spend time. That's what I mean when I say being transparent. And also you also got to go to the point of I've been a detective for many years and solved a crime yet without the help of the community. I haven't solved now. I have worked over 100 death investigation cases. I have not solved or made one arrest without help from the community. So what does that say to you?
We need each other. We need the community.
And we answer to the community.
Yeah.
So if we are in a partnership, because that's our relationship, is the partnership, is that we always, on the side of some cars, you see, we're here to protect and serve. And I'm here to tell you, we're here to serve and protect.
Ooh.
We serve first. And if you stay and always come from a place of service, sometimes you don't need de-escalation because you never let it escalate.
Right.
So we always got to be mindful of that and practice de-escalation. And de-escalation is not just at work. De-escalation is in your personal life. Yeah. So when you're living your life and becoming the servant protector that you are, you use your de-escalation skills at work. You use your de-escalation skills in your home. You use your de-escalation skills in your church. You use your de-escalation skill in your board meetings. That keeps you versed in how to interact with people and how to treat people. And it's okay to disagree.
Yes, it is. It is. And you know, when you just said de-escalate, can you give, just for people who may not even know how to begin. What's one way they can de-escalate, one strategy that they can use for de-escalation in a hot moment that you can think of?
The first and simplest thing in beginning de-escalation is use your conversation voice. Bring your voice down. Because sometimes if you're talking and you bring your voice to conversation level, everyone got to bring it down to hear each other. Other than that, it's just one person screaming and one person yelling. And that'll go on for a second, but that can be frustrating if you're talking and you're talking with a normal voice and they're screaming and yelling.
You know, that you're mentioning that, but I use that strategy all the time in my classroom. And I never understood those teachers who scream and yell. I was like, why in the world are they raising their blood pressure? You know, and my students know if Dr. Simmons stand in front of that room and say nothing, or she gets like where I am now, I'm serious. And they understand. You have one of the children that normally acts out, they'll say, you know, be quiet now, be quiet. Dr. Simmons is, she's not happy because okay, you waste your time then. I don't blow up. I don't do it in my home. We don't do any yelling, screaming in my home environment. So I'm not going to do it at my job. I'm not going to do it out there in community. So y'all got that. De-escalate by your tone, bringing it down. You can do it. You can do it. Bring it down. So thank you for that point of de-escalation. That's a starting point for those who are listening. Now, I heard you say earlier that you were on the Ahmaud Arbery case. How did you feel as a Black man investigating that case?
Well, without going into any details of the case, because I can't speak about
right.
It is it was tearful, for lack of a better word. You can see how far we've come. You can see how far we yet to go.
And I've always wondered how you all felt as law enforcement, Black law enforcement, having to deal with those type of issues. I've always wondered how you felt going into it, and what's your process for even dealing with it when you get to the house? How you even, because I know, especially you coming from Morris Brown College, I know you must have had some internal struggles with that.
But at the same time, you have to understand the why. You have to understand that we understand the frustration.
Right.
You know, but we have to keep civil order. We have to still keep, we're peace officers. So to maintain the peace. But you don't think one moment that we don't empathize and understand. So the great thing about us being in the room is that, you know, that some you have to talk about don't do because I'm here, or they want to talk about intervening, that the other officer should intervene. If you're in the room and you're a man or you're a woman of character, it won't happen in your presence. You don't have to de-escalate because we see you in the room. Now, do we get it right all the time? No, we don't. Are we perfect? By far. Are we human? Yes. But you carry yourself in such a way and remembering that we all family. Yes. There's some people that don't know how to treat people, or don't know how to act, and causing us great nationwide embarrassment. With you being in the room, they would behave differently. You know, kind of like hanging with your friend. You know, you show out in front of them.
Right. Right. So I'm glad we got you in the room.
well, you know, and I must be honest, it's not just me in the room. It is quite a few of us.
Oh, I'm sure.
It is quite a few of us in the room. I stand on the shoulders of giants, and I lean on the leadership taught to me by giants. And I'm telling you, this is not a new idea. It's just that you have those that had, lack of better words, may or may not have their own they may have their own agenda, or lack the compassion to see outside themselves. Some people just can't see. They're so selfish. They just can't see beyond themselves. And I tell young officers, don't take it personal. They ain't really mad at you. They mad at the uniform.
Yeah.
They don't even know you. They mad at the uniform. The uniform made them feel some type of way. The uniform made them feel disrespected. And what they want the uniform to do is give them every right and every treatment that you give everybody across the board. They want equal, fair treatment, but they want a uniform to stand for the people. It didn't say what type of people. It didn't say what color of people. It didn't say male or female. It didn't say how you live. It didn't say how much money you had in the bank. It didn't say what kind of car you drove. It said the people.
The people. Wow. So I'm hearing you say that goes back to community. That's the word I'm taking so far. The word I'm taking from this is community. Now, since we're talking about community, let's talk about your service in the 100 Black men of Douglas County. Wow.
Well, first of all, I have selfish motives for that. Because when you help a young man, you really help yourself.
Yeah.
Around young people keep you young. They keep you up on all the latest languages, their mannerisms. I kind of take as much from them as I think I try to give to them. I enjoy interacting with young people on all levels, all levels.
So where are you learning from the young men? You learning the dance moves?
I can't do none of that stuff they do. I don't even move like that no more. I went down to University of West Georgia's our mentee chapter, Alpha, and to watch those young men do these strolls and these dances that, the way my body's set up, I can't do that no more. But they also come up with creative ideas to do community service. So we do a Thanksgiving Day drive. And down in Carrollton, they identify the families in Carrollton that we can give to, and they volunteer to different boys and girls clubs and community events. So they come with all these different ideas of how to pass out food and get people. Yes, and older people learn from younger people. So they the energy, they the legs, they the boots on the.
Ooh, wait a minute, Richard, you done said something now.
But we are the resource.
Yeah.
We are the resource. We the grown people in the room. We are, we the roots. We the roots. We hold them down. Branches, they go out there and bear fruit and feed the community. So
I like what you just said. We can learn from young people. This is another thing that, I'm just going to have to say it. Just because you're older doesn't mean you can't learn from a younger individual.
Yes.
Those who think they cannot learn from the younger generation, you are going to be left behind.
And if you don't believe me, pick up your cell phone.
That's right.
And watch and they ain't say hand it to a teenager, hand it to a 5-year-old and watch what they do.
Right. So I've been in the room with some very wise young people.
Yes.
I'm telling you, I have seen a 5-year-old that's wiser than a 70-year-old.
Yes.
But the gap is we need to make a way for our older generation to advise our young generation. And like you said, they have the legs and the energy to do what the vision is. Good and well at 70, you don't have the strength of a 17-year-old, and you need them to carry it out.
Yes.
So, you know, we got to work together. That gap has to be bridged between our older generation and our younger generation for us to move forward in this world, period.
And it's okay to interact, listen to their music,
Yeah,
look at how they dress. It's okay to do those things. Because at some point when we were younger, the generation before us thought that we was doing things wrong, or we
yes,
was
they did.
doing things the right way. But I have to tell you and be transparent when I tell you that the civil rights struggles in which we deal with on a regular going on for years. If you listen to Marvin Gaye, he was having the same conversation that they are having right now in 2020. So if the 60s, the 50s, the 40s, if we're having the same conversation and the same complaints, then we're doing something wrong, or we might need to look to a younger person because they can't do it exactly how we're doing it, because we shouldn't be repeating the same mistakes of the past.
That's right.
The definition of insanity is do the same thing over and over
Over and over the same, yeah,
and
without
expect a
change.
different result. So at some point we have to figure that out. And that's going to take the voice of a younger person to educate us a little bit older,
That's right.
and we go in a positive direction.
And you know, there we go again. Community.
Yes.
Community. And I say it again. Community. If you're out there listening, you say it with me. Community.
Community.
Community. We need this. We need to work together without envying each other's gifts. That's
Yes.
another thing. Lord have mercy. We, crabs in a barrel. What in the world? Okay. Everybody is significant. From the street sweeper to the, well, it's not the White House now, but it was. From the street sweeper to the White House. Okay. Yes. Everybody is significant.
Yes.
Okay. So when you start looking at mankind, and when I say mankind, I'm not talking about the male, I'm talking about humans.
Yes.
And when you look at every human being of significance, then your whole life will be more joyous. Okay, you start understanding people better. You will be a happier person. Please believe me.
And accept people for who they are.
Yes, accept them.
You can disagree with their viewpoint. You can disagree with how they make their money. You can disagree with what kind of type of car they drive. You can disagree with them on politics. If we have to meet people where they are, and that learns how we can learn from each other.
Yeah.
We start to learn from each other, then things start to get better for both groups, not just one group.
Right. But I just, Richard, this conversation has been enlightening, and I hope it's been enlightening for those who are listening, because I know they might hear this in the news or whatever all the time about community, but hopefully you all out there listening will understand community, first of all, starts within yourself.
Well, Dr. Marcy, I get to ask you a question.
Yes.
How are you going to partner with the 100 Black men? How are you going to partner with the Community Involvement Committee, Alpha Phi Alpha, Rho Pi Lambda chapter? What are you going to do that's going to aid us in uplifting our young men and women in our community? Because you start in your community first, and as you start to clean up your house, then you go help other people clean up their house. So as we start to clean up our house, I look forward to partnering with you, and even teaching a young person with what you're doing and giving them Toastmaster ideas and topics, and making them feel comfortable in front of the camera and doing the things that you do. I hope that I can look forward to, sending you one of our young men or ladies.
Well, Rich, I already told you.
In the right direction.
You get whatever you want. You can have whatever you like.
I love myself in this.
And I'm serious about that. You got my number. All you got to do is make a phone call.
All right, sis.
I will oblige, because I believe in supporting each other. I do. And I'm not just talking about the African American community. Yes, we have been focusing on that during this conversation, but I'm talking about supporting each other, period. Now, if you're doing something illegal, I can't support you.
Right.
But if it's for the good and the betterment of the global society, I will support you till the cows come home.
Well, the pandemic taught us that we're in this together.
We're in it together.
The pandemic did not discriminate.
It didn't.
It affected us all directly or indirectly. Everyone was touched by it.
That's right. That's right. And so I didn't even get to talk about your music side. I'm going to hit that before we get off of here. You're a trombonist.
Yes, I am. T-Bone Express. I play trombone, baritone, and tuba. The tuba and baritone was fun, but trombone is my heart.
Trombone. I should have told you to bring that trombone to the office so you could play it today.
Well, it's actually in the trunk of my car.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Richard. I should have told you to get it.
Going to Morris Brown, being a part of that band, one of the first things they taught you to be in the band at Morris Brown is they say, what you're going to do, you're going to pick up your feet, you're going to play your part, and you're going to drive. And they say, how? And we say, together. And you say, now. That statement transcends into my whole entire life. And I got that at 18. And it's pushed into you. And you say that chant every day, all day, twice on Sunday. And it becomes a part of you. And what I just said, every brown-eyed marching Wolverine knows that through and through. And it applies to everything that we do.
And this is a funny story. I remember when I would get to my dorm, I stayed over there in Hickman Hall for a while.
Okay.
And so the band would be rehearsing out the back. So I could see them out of my window.
Yes.
And when I tell you, I used to feel so sorry for y'all. Oh, Lord, it was from sun up to sundown in the heat with the full uniform.
Yes.
They weren't playing with y'all, and I see y'all's legs up in the air. I was like, oh my gosh. But they taught you about community then.
Yes.
And the importance of working together.
Yes. And it ain't about the sound of my voice as one instrument. It's the sound of the voice of the whole. The collective voice. And because of that training that you all received, Mars Brown's band was the top in the land. Now, I'm not just saying that. Tell them, Richard, I'm not just saying that. Hey, I was there.
I was there.
Yeah, I was there. I marched in the Rose Bowl parade out in California. Yeah, that was a great time. That was a 6-mile parade. And we had a great time just being young and enjoying ourselves.
So, this goes back again. If you've been listening to Richard all along, there were things put in him throughout his life. Affirmation, words of encouragement, when people probably didn't even know they were encouraging him.
You're right. But Morris Brown was a haven for all hungry
souls. Oh, Lord, don't get me to sing the alma mater.
and so they never let you go. They never let you go.
They never did.
I mean, throughout my years, I still, in the high times and the low times, that was always somebody that I met from Morris Brown that was in my corner.
That's right.
And even today, from the time I put that beanie on in 1993 to now, it's always been covered. I have always been covered.
And look, the chief of police in the cab is who? A Brown Knight?
You talking about, no. The sheriff of DeKalb County.
Yeah, DeKalb County.
The elected sheriff.
Yes, the sheriff is
a Brown Knight.
Say it again, Richard.
It's a Brown Knight.
Miss Melody Maddox. is a
Yes.
brown knight. Yes. Come on now. Y'all don't play with the brown knights.
Well, they do it.
Richard, I love you, brother. And I am so happy that you obliged us today with this conversation. I am so proud of you and the work that you're doing. And I hope that you will call me soon so we can get some things going. We're gonna do something in Douglas County, but it can bring, I'm a global girl. Well, it can go as far as it can go.
Well, I'm gonna hold you to that.
I'm saying you can. I'm not gonna
Because
say anything I won't do. Now,
we
you'll
have to
learn
do
that about
things.
me.
We have to do it that way. We have to look at it that way.
Yes. So
More than just our community.
that's right. Now, Richard, if someone wants to contact you for speaking engagements or just to set up something for the youth in their community, how can they reach you?
You can reach me through our website at the 100 Black Men of Douglasville.org, or you can reach me at Randolph Richard, RANDOLPH, Richard, RICHARD, at bellsouth.net, BELLSOUTH.net.
Okay, now y'all heard it. Now don't go around saying, well, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to help my community. I don't know any people. Here's one right here.
Or they can come and join me.
That's right. Come and join. You don't know what to do. Come learn.
Come join.
And we're all learn. You will learn until the day you leave here. So we have no excuse. The resources are here to help the community. And like I say, each week at the conclusion of this discussion, if you would like to come on here and share your story or just inspire someone with your story, reach out to me at integrativeartscreations.com, or you can email me at integrativearts@att.net. We're on Facebook, Integrative Arts Creations. We're on Instagram, Arts Integrate, Twitter, Integrative Arts. Just reach out. That's all you have to do. And we also have a group, a Facebook group, of which Mr. Randolph is a part of as well, the Connecting Point for Creators group. So it's a private group on Facebook. Look it up, join. Everybody's a creator. Everybody is. You're a creator of ideas or something. Everybody is a creator. So all we do there is celebrate each other. We celebrate each other, get some inspiration to keep moving. All right. So thank you again, Richard, and blessings to you. And audience, until we get this moment again, peace and blessings. Bye-bye.